Hello, Epic 7 newbies, this is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video about how I climbed from Metal ranks into Challenger with only 12 waifus. I know these are lower ranks, but this video is geared toward lazy players with mid-level or higher accounts who just don't play much RTA. I'll go over how to use these 12 heroes to properly cleave the current meta, and how to use Harsetti's presence to gain a gear advantage on the battlefield. Just some quick background before diving into the strategies. I play 0 RTA during the season. My PvP focus is exclusively on arena quick battle tactics and guild wars. However, when the RTA season is ending, like it is in less than a week, I will sit down and do a quick climb to Masters to get that sweet new skin. I want to apologize to newer players in advance. I have a pretty weak account when it comes to my hero pool because I don't have a large number of the meta units.
Fortunately, don't have a lot of sausage.
But on the flip side, I've been playing for over 3 years now, so I do have late game gear. This may make my strategies hard to copy unless you have at least a mid-game account. My goal every RTA season is to tell you lazy players how to easily get the new RTA skin with the most straightforward draft and as few units built as possible. Last season, the stars aligned perfectly, and I was able to climb through Masters using only 5 heroes, and it took me about 30 minutes. Things are way different this season thanks to the introduction of Harsetti. If you look at the RTA tier lists and draft guides, there's something like 50 heroes that are viable. While this is awesome for the fun of the game, it's hard for lazy vets or new players to step in and quickly nail things down if they're trying to climb last minute. The closest anyone's come is, once again, I'm Sue, who is quickly turning into one of the best RTA content creators. He has a draft guide that trims the hero list down to around 36 top choice heroes, and this is specifically for standard playstyle. The 12 waifus I list can be brought into every draft and have a win rate over 70%. I was able to get to Masters in around 45 minutes. The reason I'm able to use so few units is because I try really hard to force the opponent to counterpick me rather than the other way around. Getting into counterpicking is where these RTA rosters start getting huge. Anyways, these 12 waifus let me adapt to 2 playstyles here. One is the very successful Cleave fakeout style I used last season. This is by far my highest win rate style, probably close to 80%, and it's used exclusively when Harsetti is off the board. The second style is a slower standard playstyle, highly dependent on having Harsetti on the battlefield either on my team or my opponent's. This style has about a 60% win rate for me. The styles are specific to whether I'm picking first or second in the draft. If I pick second, I want to do a Cleave fakeout. Let me walk you through it. This is from the standpoint of a single pre-ban. It is way more successful with 2 pre-bans. I'll cover this a bit later. I always pre-ban Harsetti when I pick second. They pick first, then I'll pick a unit from my list with a priority being left to right. So here, I pick Flan if she's available. If not, then I'll grab Ilinav. This first pick is the same for both draft styles. Honestly, you can pick any standard playstyle meta unit here, and this draft will work. These just happen to be the 2 that I have built. Yufine will always be my second pick for 2 reasons. 1, she is an incredibly strong standard unit, so she won't tip off the other team that I'm cleaving. 2 is that she's actually an anti-cleave unit. So this prevents my enemy from taking her and also stops them from trying to counter my cleave with Cleave. They pick 2 more heroes. If, for some reason, they ban Protect Zio, I'm kind of screwed. I'll bail on Cleave and just pick standard and pray for the best. This situation never happens when there are 2 pre-bans, because I can just pre-ban both Harsetti and Zio. But in lower ranks, it's something you have to look out for. If I'm clear to Cleave, I ban Protect Judge Kisei as my opener. Why Judge Kisei over all of the other meta openers? You're right, she's slow and probably ranked 10th on the list of decent openers. If you have the speed gear for her, she's amazing for 3 reasons. One is, my opponent only has 2 picks left, so anyone who outspeeds her can be easily banned. Second is, unlike SPP and Luna, she actually does AoE attacks with her skills, which is crucial for pushing your follow-up cleavers. Third, she actually has very few anti-cleave counters because she doesn't take an extra turn and she doesn't use non-attack skills. If you don't have my kind of speed gear, you can use other meta openers like Ran, Para, or Monk in this spot. Just know that the enemy will have a few more counters to choose from. I pick Rowana at 4 and either Elena or Assyria at 5, depending on whether or not they have units who counterattack. Picking Rowana causes the opponent to panic, and because Kisei is a bit unorthodox, I feel like enemies have a hard time choosing counters for her. I wasn't aware of this before, but heroes like Faithless Litica and Judge Kisei have that combat readiness mechanic rather than granting them an extra turn. This pairs crazy well with Requiem Rowana because she ends up getting 2 turns back to back. My opening turn order is Kisei Rowana, and then Elena or whoever, before the enemy gets a single turn. This will put a huge dent into even the tankiest teams, and then they still have Yufine or Flan to deal with. Ban any cleave counters and this should be an easy win. Now let's cover the second style. If I have first pick in the draft, my primary objective is to guarantee Harsetti is on the field, regardless of whether or not she is on their team or mine. I put a lot of these units on very slow, bulky builds, so this should give me a stat advantage over my opponent if they are picking a standard speed draft. I pre-ban Zio when I pick first. I keep an eye out for who the opponent bans. If they ban Harsetti, then I'll just switch to the Cleave Fake-Out draft. If Harsetti is still in play, the draft changes slightly depending on whether or not they pick Harsetti in their first 2 picks or not. If they chose her, then I pick Ilinov if she's available. If not, I'll grab Senya, then ban Protect Dilibet. Dilibet is probably the top meta counter to Harsetti right now. My 4th and 5th picks should be based on the heroes you see here. With the last pick, I'll take BBK only if I grabbed Senya somewhere. If I didn't get Senya, then I'll pick Helua. If the opponent doesn't pick Harsetti on their turn, then I will. My second pick should be Ilinov if she's available. If not, I'll take Dilibet. What I'm trying to do here is take meta Harsetti counters away from my opponent, then I'll ban Protect Harsetti. The last 2 picks are the same as the other path, but Dilibet is included here in case she's still available. Ban out counters and rock and roll. Again, I have a way higher success rate with 2 pre-bans because I can target both Zio and Mort. Here's a quick preview of how I built the only 12 waifus I use in RTA to get that sweet, sweet Flan skin. You may be asking why I have completely different draft strategies based on first pick or second pick. Why not just use the Cleave Fake-Out draft every time? This is because Cleave has too many counters in the current meta. Transitioning to Cleave while the opponent still has Ban Protect available is a recipe for disaster. Anyways, those are the 2 draft styles that I used to climb to Masters, and quite honestly, work even better with 2 pre-bans now. Hopefully some of these tips here help you get that Flan skin. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye everyone.